My father's favorite story, which he told me many times, is from the Talmud. Gemara Tanis, page Chav Gimel Amud Aleph, page 23a. It's a story of Choni Hamagal, Choni the circle maker. He was walking through the countryside, and he saw an old man planting a tree. He said, "Good sir, what type of tree are you planting?" The man said, "I'm planting a carob tree." He said, "My dear friend, carob trees take 70 years to produce fruit. With all due respect, it is doubtful that you are ever going to taste the fruit of this carob tree." The elderly man answered and said, "When I came into this world, I found carob trees planted by my father and grandfather. And so I too will plant carob trees for my children and grandchildren." This story, said my father, is a story of immortality. My father said, the purpose of life is to leave this world a better place than when you came into it. This is the secret of immortality. To think about the next generation and generations following, and to plant trees, and to plant a legacy for the next generation, to keep the Masorah, the tradition, going. That is what this program is about, called legacy. In Hebrew, dor lidor, from generation to generation. We would like to invite you to come into our studio, produce, develop, and publish a special video, a legacy video, for your children and grandchildren. This video will contain your message, your life message, your values message of your life to your children and grandchildren so that they can have it for posterity. For example, before Babi Sarah and Zedi Yisrael got married as a second marriage, Babi Sarah had made and crocheted this beautiful Pesach matzah cover. You can see her name, Sarah, crocheted into the matzah cover, and then Kohen crocheted into the matzah cover, Levi crocheted into the matzah cover, Yisrael crocheted into the matzah cover, and the year 1886, when my great-grandmother, Babi Sarah, who was the mother of Zedi Dudi, married Zedi Yisrael, who was the father of Babi Rivka, and the four other brothers. This became part of the family heirloom, the family legacy, and we have it now, and I am very privileged to use this on Pesach, and my special request and legacy would be that you, my children and grandchildren, use this matzah cover in rotation every year. A different family uses it every year to continue the memory and legacy of this beautiful matzah cover and the beautiful traditions from door to door, generation to generation, so we can continue this heirloom, this legacy, and the continuity of Yiddishkeit in our family. You know the picture hanging on our dining room wall, a picture of Zedi Yisrael and Babi Sarah, his second wife. Those two pictures were hanging on the wall of Babi Rivka and Zedi Dudi for many, many years. And they were hanging on the wall of my parents, Babi Sarah and Zedi Walter. And I said to myself, in the fullness of time, I would like those photographs to be hanging on my wall. And as you know, those two photographs you grew up with on the dining room by our Shabbos table in our home as the legacy of our family, going backwards in time and going forwards. And going forward, I'm going to present each of you, each of the 5 families, each of my 5 children, with a set of these photographs of Zedi Yisrael and Babi Sarah, and I invite you, with no obligation, to hang them on your dining room wall to remember Zedi Yisrael and Babi Sarah and our family legacy. On this desk are 2 books. On the right, a Teres Tiferes Yisrael, written by our great-great-grandfather, Rav Yisrael Harif, 1706 to 1789. He was a Talmud, a student of the Baal Shem Tov. Baal Shem Tov had 60 main students, and he was in the inner cabinet of that Chabura, that group who studied and learned from the Baal Shem Tov. And he wrote this Sefer, a Teres Tiferes Yisrael, on Kabbalah, on the Parsha of the week. On the left is the book Bina Le'itim, learned by my great-grandfather, JED Yisrael Perel, 1856 to 1947, and he studied this sefer with my grandfather, David Abba ben Yehuda Leba Cohen, David Huberman, and my Zeta, David Abba, learned that sefer with me. This is the idea of legacy, generation, generation, going back to Yisrael Charif, down the generations to my great-grandfather, JED Yisrael, to my grandfather, David Abba HaKohen, to me, learning together this sefer, Bina L'Itim. This is called the Masorah, the transmission of tradition, the transmission of values, the transmission of learning from one generation to the next. And that's why we're calling our program Dor L'Dor, Generation to Generation, the Legacy Program. I invite parents and grandparents to come into our studio, and we will help you develop, produce, edit, and publish a special video, a legacy video for your children and grandchildren so that they can have it for posterity. The legacy videos we're publishing today will be published online, but your video, which we will help you produce, develop, and publish, will be private, only accessible by you and your family whenever you decide. So therefore, this is a private legacy video just for you and your family that you can give to your family, to give them your family message, your life message, your legacy message to them as a charge, as a challenge, as a message for all generations. If you'd like to come into our studio and produce your special, unique legacy video for your family and your children and grandchildren, your message, your life message, please contact me at the contact details at the end of this video, and we will make arrangements for you to come into our studio and produce your legacy video.